Hello everyone. Today's going to be kind of a serious video because I'm getting asked a lot of questions. Will the COPPA situation affect Comicstorian? Now, there are many videos out there explaining what the COPPA situation is, but I will let you know very briefly what it is, and I will link a bunch of the videos down below that explain it 10 times better than I could ever even attempt to. One of which is from the social media lawyer, and he has got it spot on exactly what you need to know. Long story short though, COPPA is the Child Protection Act, and what it basically states is that you can't collect data on children. YouTube, since its inception, has created videos and content that are aimed at children, and children in this terminology references kids under the age of 13. So basically, YouTube has been making videos, and since they collect data on everything that they're doing, including algorithms and cookies and buying history, children were also collected in that as well. What that has basically turned into is people went against YouTube stating, hey, you're collecting information on children, and YouTube responded with, well, YouTube's not intended for anyone under the age of 13. That was until recently. A bunch of child advocacy groups got together and said, no, YouTube does have content aimed at children, and they used examples like Ryan's Toy Reviews and a lot of your favorite YouTubers that are aiming for children's content. Making children's content isn't necessarily bad. You can make a Nerf gun war that you aimed for kids, or you could do Legos that you aimed for kids. But what this has led to is the FTC and YouTube coming down and stating, are you making content for children under the age of 13 or are you not? And if you are making content for children under the age of 13, you will not be able to monetize, you will not be searchable, people will not be able to find your videos, and you're pretty much going to be blacklisted on YouTube to prevent any of their algorithms from collecting data. Now that's my short, condensed version of what is happening. If you want the long, better explained version, I will link that down below. So in January, there's going to be some sweeping changes here at YouTube to prevent YouTube from collecting data on children. If you do that, if you go into YouTube and you state that I am making content for adults or 13 and older, and then the FTC finds you and says, hey, no, you're making content for children, they can fine you up to $42,000. What that boils down to is it's going to create a very unsafe environment for YouTube creators to create content. And that's why a lot of your favorite YouTubers are freaking out right now, because if your content can be perceived as being geared at children, then you're going to have a problem. Now, how does this affect Comicstorian? The reason I haven't commented on this up to this point is because more information is coming out. Everyone freaked out over the initial reaction from the FTC, where they literally stated finding a YouTube content creator that is making content for children is like shooting fish in a barrel. They literally said that they're going to go out there and find people so that they can find them to make YouTube upset. Well, this has all been clarified, and what they've basically have said is that there is a middle ground. You are able to make content that you are intending for 13 and older that children happen to watch. What that means for YouTube, we don't fully know. Now, up until now, Comicstorian has never been hit with any of the children's app things. We've never been hit with children's ads, and we don't have a demographic of children. So I'm not concerned on COPPA coming through and shutting us down. It's always a possibility. You need to be aware of that. But I'm not concerned on that. What I'm concerned on is what YouTube is going to do in January to drastically compensate for this COPPA situation. They could very easily bump us off the algorithm if they're worried about us being aimed at children. They could very easily turn off our monetization if they are worried about us being aimed at children. Up until now, we haven't had that issue, but it is always a possibility. So your next question is, Benny, well, to me, I'm Benny. Your next question to me would probably be, okay, well, Benny, January hits, YouTube becomes an unviable platform for Comicstorian for whatever the reason. You're not making money, you can't fund your staff, you aren't able to upload videos. What are you guys going to do? Is this the end of Comicstorian? And that's what this video is about. The immediate answer is no. It will not be the end of Comicstorian. If COPPA officially comes through and takes out our channel, it takes out our monetization, our searching, and all that other stuff, what will happen is Comicstorian will shift entirely to be a Patreon thing. So the Patreon that we have right now, you can go there and we give you a lot of our content early access. The last month has been a little rocky for us as one of our editors was diagnosed with cancer. He will recover. I don't want to say cancer and not say that afterwards. He is completely supposedly going to recover and we're perfectly fine on that end. But it did create an editing snafu where we were making videos last second. But our Patreon does give you videos early access up to 3 days right now. And if something like COPPA comes through and turns off our monetization, that means Patreon will be the only way for us to get monetized and continue the videos. We also have 2 Twitch channels, twitch.tv/Comicstorian, where we do our podcasting every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at about 2 p.m. Eastern. We talk about comic books, conspiracies, and all kinds of stuff there. We would start uploading the Comicstorian videos to that location as well. So what I'm saying is, if, and this is an if, COPPA comes through and pretty much turns off revenue for Comicstorian, we will be shifting to Patreon and Twitch. Right now, we're not worried about them turning us off. We're worried about lower revenue, which will affect the amount of people we can have on the team, which overall would affect how many videos we can put out. But as of right now, no one has any information as to what is happening, okay? As of right now, the FTC wants to come in and do various things on COPPA. It looks very scary from a YouTube creator point of view. They are saying things like colorful images and characters that appeal to children could count as children's content. There's a number of things that could come through and affect us in January. And if you want to see Comicstorian continuing, that's why we have our Twitch. That is why we have our Patreon. Those are for Comicstorian to continue going if anything like this does affect us. So, that's what this video is about, to let you know that while will COPPA kill Comicstorian, the general answer is no. We will move platforms and we will continue. But if those platforms aren't viable, if we don't have a bunch of Patreons that can support us, if we don't have a bunch of Twitch subs that can support us, that would be the end of Comicstorian. But it won't come in January. You can't kick me down for 6 years of algorithm shifts and adpocalypses and government oversight. You can't do this for 6 years and expect that I'm just going to back down in January. We will find a way to keep going until literally there's no other option. So that, I hope, answers your question of what is COPPA going to affect Comicstorian. We're not expecting a giant hit. We're expecting a minor hit. That doesn't mean I'm right. I'm telling you right now, down in the deep crevices of my mind, I'm still full of anxiety and fully panicking about what is going to happen in January. I can expect one thing and this other thing still happen. But regardless of it directly affecting us, minorly affecting us, or taking us off the air entirely, you need to know about COPPA and what it's going to do to your favorite content creators. So, if you don't agree with COPPA, you don't agree with what is going on, the Game Theorist made a great video also explaining it, and I will link the Game Theorist video and I will link the Social Media Lawyer video down below. But they've also got a way that you can leave a comment on COPPA for the FTC directly. And if you're curious about more information on COPPA and you want to read it yourself, I will also link that down below. Overall, guys, Comicstorian's not going away. We just might have to switch where our revenue's coming from. And if you want to see Comicstorian continue through COPPA, through adpocalypses, through no matter what happens, please consider going to our Patreon. It's only $2 to support us. You get early access to our content. We talk to you directly. There's a lot of stuff we do over there at Patreon that we encourage people to go over and join our Comicstorian Army exclusive membership, where we bring you more stuff and do more stuff with you. If you want to help us get through algorithm shifts, adpocalypses, and now COPPA trying to potentially shut us down, please consider joining up over there or going to our twitch.tv/Comicstorian channel, where we do all of our podcasting and upload a lot of our videos. And that's pretty much it. And lastly, if you just want to support me and help me directly get through a lot of this, I also stream a lot of video games there as well. Twitch.tv/EligibleMonster. We do various survival games and MMOs. You can find me over there. But those are 3 ways that you can help get us through these things if this destroys us. So that's the too long didn't read. I don't think COPPA is going to affect us drastically, but it will affect us in a minor way. Our backup plan is Patreon and Twitch. And we're only going to stop uploading to YouTube if we literally have no other option. I'm going to clarify that real fast, because even if we make no revenue here, I need to tell people to go to the Patreon, which means that we will still be uploading some of the videos on YouTube to 0 revenue, so that we can tell you there's so many more on Patreon, because that's where our funding comes from. So either way, we will find a way around this, even if it just turns into me sitting in a Barca lounger chair with a red robe and a cigar talking to you. All right, here's what happened in X-Men. We'll figure out a plan. Trust me, we will get around it. But it's scary. It is. This being our entire business makes this entirely scary. But that's it. I don't want to make this video too much more long or rambly. I hope this answered your questions. I hope you continue to support us by watching these videos. Go to our various other websites. Go to our other revenue sources. Thank you so much for your support up to this point. And you guys have a great day. Thank you.